With that, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Motzei Shabbos program of the 7th Annual Project Inspire Convention.
Good Tavach, everyone. We are here. Baruch Hashem. My name is Yaakov Solomon. Please don't stand or applaud. But if you must, you know. And I have the schus to be your host this evening. Has it been an amazing Shabbos? Yes. Amazing. Amazing. You walk through the halls, you speak to people, they just overwhelmed. Baruch Hashem. You know, Yossi mentioned before about the turning off your cell phones. I know some of you have heard this story already, but I just need to remind you about how important that is, because many years ago, we were showing the first film of Inspired. This was Rabbi Yitz Greenman, as a matter of fact, was behind the Inspired film in the beginning. And we were showing the film, and as we were about, this is about, was it 10 years ago or so? And we were about to begin, I saw a good friend of mine who came in to see it. I said I was very honored that he came, this and that. At the end of the film, when we were all finished, I was curious about how he liked it, of course. So I went over to him and I said to him, how'd you like the film? So he said, oh, the film? He said, I didn't really see it. He said, I saw you here at the beginning. What do you mean you didn't see it? He says, well, you announced at the beginning that we should all turn off our cell phones. I said, yeah. He said, well, I left mine home. These are the kind of friends I have. So I have to start with an embarrassing story. You'll allow me an embarrassing story, right? Say yes. Yes. Only the women said yes. Did you notice? The men feel for me. They don't want me to be embarrassed. The women don't care. Doesn't matter. So he's embarrassed a little. So there I was at home, sitting in my kitchen a while ago. I really had nothing to do. I was just sitting around doing nothing, as I often tend to do. And I said, what should I do? I have nothing to do, So I decided, this is the embarrassing part, I decided, it's a good idea to see where you're holding in life. But it's not a simple thing to do. So I did what people do today to find out where they're holding in life. I Googled my name. Now you see the embarrassment, right? I just, where am I holding? Have I been arrested recently? Have I lost my driver's license? Things like that. So I looked up and I said, and there I am. I says, look at that. Came up, I think it was about, 120,000 different places. It probably was a lot more than that. The Google is not really reliable. And I start, of course, looking through the different places where I've been mentioned, and this took several hours. So at least I had something to do. Unfortunately, in the middle of my adventure, my wife walked in. What are you doing? What am I going to say? I Googled my name, So eventually, of course, she found out, and I said, don't be intimidated. I said, it's not that I'm so famous or anything. I said, as a matter of fact, I'll prove it to you. I said, let's Google your name, and you'll see that you're also famous. She says, oh, come on, no, but I'm not there. You can't Google mine. So I said, let's try it. I put in her name, and sure enough, there were like 500 references to her. She's a famous person, too. So he said, let's go and take a look at them. So the first one said, wife of Yaakov Solomon. The second one said, wife of Yaakov Solomon. The third one, they all said, wife of Yaakov Solomon. Oh, I'm sorry. We have the privilege, the schus of the Rosh Yeshiva, Reb Shmuel Kamenetsky, coming in now. If I had a guitar, I would sing. Rosh Yeshiva, Oh, Shalom. Thank you. You sang that for me? No. This is what you call siyata d'shmaya when the Rosh Yeshiva walks in after my Google story. Baruch Hashem. We'll talk later, Rosh Yeshiva. I think he's heard worse, but at least I'm in the clear. So the reason that I mentioned that is that so every one of hers comes up, wife of Yaakov Solomon, etc., this and that. So I just wanted to mention that story. Why? Because I spend a lot of time doing Project Inspire and doing other things. And the truth is that I never get a chance to thank her, and she's a great sport. So thank you. I don't know where you are. Oh. Where are you? Hi. Is that okay? Uh-oh. As you will see tonight, we all know that there are a lot of not yet from people out there, and we all know them, and we all want a chance, and hopefully we'll get a chance to reach out to them. But the truth is that when people don't do it, we also have to ask why. What is holding us back? What is preventing us from sharing this tremendous life, the life of being a Torah Jew? What is preventing us from sharing it? And among the many answers, and there really are many, but among the many answers is fear. We're afraid. We're afraid of reaching out for some reason. Why are we afraid? Well, one of the reasons is we're afraid we don't know what to say, and we don't know how we're going to respond, etc. So I want you to realize that that fear really has no basis. It is an irrational fear, because there's no great question out there that we can't answer. It's nothing to be afraid of, really. Also, I want to point out that when we're doing the Avodas Hashem, the truth is, and we see it time and time again, we do have a special siyata d'shmaya. Somehow, Hashem's guiding hand is there. I want to give you an example. I just heard this last week. Rav Shimon Schwab, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, he was in Baltimore. I believe this was in the 50s. And he was really doing kiruv work. He was doing kiruv work. He was trying to be makarev the people in Baltimore. And he was giving a talk about wearing a yarmulke. Apparently, that was not so common, or it was not so easy, and there were many people who were not even wearing a yarmulke. So he said, he was speaking about how important it is. Yarmulke comes from the words Yarei Malka, we should have fear of the Rabbanu Shalom, etc. While he was speaking, a man got up in the audience and said, "Rabbi, this is nonsense." He said, "Well, what are you talking about?" He says, "This whole thing of a yarmulke, it's nonsense. Where did you get it from? I will prove to you that it's nonsense." Okay, I imagine he had a little trepidation, but Rav Schwab didn't have much fear in him. He says, "How do you prove to me that it's nonsense?" He said, "The Torah itself says that one of the garments of the Kohen Gadol was to wear a head covering." Well, I guess apparently no one else was wearing one. So if no one's wearing one, but the Kohen Gadol has to wear one. So I guess people were not wearing yarmulkes. So this is nonsense. So what would Rav Schwab say to that? It's a tremendous question. So I believe that Rav Schwab had tremendous siyata d'shmaya, because he turned to that man and he said, "Very interesting question, but you know what? According to your reasoning, nobody wore pants either." Tremendous. Siyata d'shmaya. Rabbi David Refson from Neve was once at a conference. He was at a conference of the aeronautical scientists. It's a famous story. And he was having some discussion with someone who apparently didn't believe much in religion. So he once said to Rabbi Refson at that conference, he says, "You know, Rabbi Refson, I really believe that I don't know much about religion, that's true. But if you had to sum it up in a few words, I would say it's basically be a nice person." Rabbi Refson, a genius, looked at that man and wondered what he's going to say. What kind of retort would he have for that? And he says, "You know, that's interesting." He said, "I don't know much about astronomy either, but I would sum it up in a few words also. Twinkle, twinkle, little star." You get a little siyata d'shmaya. One final anecdote. Many years ago, I was in Virginia, and I was doing a talk about Discovery. Discovery is a wonderful program from Esha Torah. We actually prove, we bring evidence for the existence of the Ribono Shel Olam and for Torah being Torah Misinai. And I was giving all the arguments, and I must say, I was doing a pretty good job. If you Google it, you could probably find me on there. There I was, and I was doing very well, I thought. But there was one man in the audience. He just wouldn't let go. Every time I gave a proof, he said, yeah, but maybe this, maybe that. You never know, you never know. He was driving me crazy, the truth is. And the audience was also getting a little tired of him. So I was looking and said, why am I, finally I speak about Maimed Har Sinai. It's an amazing evidence about Maimed Har Sinai. Now what's he going to say to that? Oh, there he goes, up with the hand. I said, yes, what is it? He says, well, I don't know. Maybe it was an alien. Could have been a spaceship, came down on the mountain. You know, we don't know the superpowers. He was driving me crazy. And everybody's looking around, you know. So I'm thinking, how am I going to get him quiet? So you get a little siyata dishmaya. So I said one thing to him, and he was quiet the rest of the seminary. What did I say? I said, sir, you've asked a lot of questions today. Some of them were very good questions. That's true. I said, but now I'd like to ask you a question. And if you could answer this question to me, I think everyone will be more than satisfied. He said, sure, I'm open, go ahead. I said, do you also believe that O.J. was innocent? That was it. He didn't say a word for the rest of the day. When you have doing this work, you don't have to be afraid of anything. The Ribono Shel Olam is with you. He's with you. You'll find something to say. No need to fear. We must reach out. That is our mission. We had an amazing Shabbos, as you know, as most of you know. Yes. And last night I told you that there would be pain and pleasure, and there was. There was pain and pleasure all over. We had tremendous pleasure. Wherever we went, we had tremendous pleasure. Everything. But we also had pain because we knew what we were missing. Who knows where we're going? Who knows if we chose the right session, etc. It was difficult, right? But there is a danger in having such a wonderful program. I want to tell you what it is. The danger in having such a wonderful program is that a lot of people walk out of each segment of this program and they say one word. Wow. Wow. Did you hear Memima Mizrahi? Wow. Did you hear Rabbi Feiner? Wow. Did you hear the Shachris? Did you hear the Kabbalah Shabbos? Oh, wow. Did you ever see a Havdalah like that? Wow. Wow. So you think that's great. You think it's great. Everybody's walking around saying, wow, wow, wow. You think it's great. I want to tell you, and I'm really serious about this, I don't think it's so great. I really don't think so. It's wonderful to have a wow program, but that's not the answer that we want to hear. We don't want to hear reactions of wow. We want to hear reactions of now. That's the reaction we want. Wow is great. What we really want is now. Because Rav Noach Weinberg taught us we're losing the war. And we don't have the luxury of time. We need to do it now. It's a call to action. Yeah, we want to make a nice program. We want everything to be great. But when we sit down and plan this for the whole year, and we want to create a wow program, we still want your response to be now. I want to make sure that that happens. I have a secret to tell you. And this is a very important secret. We decided to tell you this before the program begins. I want you to pay close attention. Later on tonight, at the end of the session, there's a young man who will be sitting in this audience. He's not here right now. He has been detained outside in the lobby. This is true. He has been detained on purpose, so he should not hear this secret. But we decided we're going to let you in on it. We're going to let you in on what's going to happen tonight. Isn't that exciting? He's going to be sitting somewhere over here. Okay, the women will be able to see. We're going to have it on camera. And he's going to come in shortly. You won't even notice when he comes in, and he doesn't know that we're talking about this. And at the end of the program, I'm going to walk over to him, and we're going to introduce myself. I've never met him before, by the way. His name is Fernando. Fernando lives in Mexico. And he goes to a Hebrew school in San Diego. We met him. I didn't meet him personally, but Project Inspire people met him a few months ago when they went on a trip to San Diego with a few Balabatim together, with Yaakov Schenirer, others together. And they went to the school, Rabbi Adaro's school in San Diego, and they met Fernando. Fernando is 17 years old. He lives in Mexico. Get this, he travels about an hour and a half each way over the border every day from Mexico to San Diego to learn. Back and forth. He goes home to his mother every day. He lost his father in November. He expressed, when he was there, an interest to continue learning. He wants to go to Eretz Yisrael next year. Few people made friends with him there, and they said, come for Shabbos to New York. So all expenses paid, we brought him here, and he was here for the weekend. What he doesn't know is that a few of the people who went there were so taken by him, and he's a very special guy who's very serious, but he's also comes from a family that clearly cannot afford this. And a few people got together, and they said, we will pay for his entire year in Eretz Yisrael next year. We're going to bring him to Esha Torah next year. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that it's going to be all expenses paid, and he'll be able to fulfill his dream, which, by the way, was also a dream of his father before he died. So later tonight, at the end of the evening, please don't say anything. Why am I looking at the women? Just a coincidence, I guess. Please don't say anything, obviously. I'm going to go over to him. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to bring him up on the stage. All of you know what's going to happen. And then we're going to present him with this special scholarship. We've never tried anything like this before, and it better work. Yeshiva, what do you think? Yeshiva likes it? Yeah? Okay. Okay. So that's what's going to happen, but there are a lot of other things going to happen before then. It's a very, very exciting program. You're allowed to say wow. Don't yell at me. You're allowed to say wow. We're going to have a fabulous program anyway. Okay? Now, let's get down to business. Okay, we're going to roll our first video, and our first video is that the truth is that you know, and we know, that really you have the capacity to affect many people. We know that. Used to be people said, I don't know any non-from people. I don't know. But we know that it's not true. And you'll ask, how do you know that it's not true? And the answer is, because we found out yesterday. We found out yesterday that it's not true. You know a lot of people. So let's roll video number 1.
Do you know any unaffiliated Jews?
Oh, yes.
Do you know anybody who's not religious?
I know a lot of people that aren't religious.
Every from Jew probably knows somebody who's not from.
100%.
I meet people all the time that are not religious.
I mean, I meet them all the time. I go to hospitals, I see doctors, I see nurses, I see all kinds of people that are not affiliated.
Clearly somebody who's already taken the survey. Would you say that you know any unaffiliated Jews?
Definitely. My next door neighbor.
So how many not from people would you say you know?
I say about 100.
Wow, that's a lot.
Top of my head, maybe 50.
50?
Yes.
Top of my head, maybe 10, 15.
You think you know one non-frum person?
I definitely know one non-frum person.
5?
Probably more.
10?
At least.
15?
I'm sure we can think and develop a list of 15.
I know at least 20 unaffiliated Jew.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know any Yidden that aren't from?
Yes, but they're not by the hotel.
You're pretty popular. I'm guessing you probably know more closer to like 50.
Okay.
How many would you say that you know?
Quite a few.
Give me a number.
374.
Wow. I don't know that many people at all. If you think of all the people that you come across at work or wherever else you're doing during your day, how many not from Jews would you say you interact with on some level, one way or the other?
On a daily basis?
Yeah.
– 10 to 15.
There are no excuses, folks. No more excuses. We've got to go out and do the job, right? Right? Right. Okay. Excellent. Project Inspire had a tremendous privilege this year. We were, Baruch Hashem, we had the schus to play a large role and help facilitate the wonderful Shabbos Project that so many of you were involved in. We played a role in New York, in New Jersey, and in Toronto. So many of you who are sitting here right now, I know, invited many, many people for that Shabbos, which was a tremendous, tremendous success, thanks in good part to our good friends Isaac and Edie Gross, who are greatly instrumental in helping us with the Shabbos Project, and it had a profound effect on anyone who was involved on any level. And how many of you were at the incredible Shabbos challah bake? I've asked many of you. Right? It was an experience that no one ever will forget. Unforgettable. Even the Guinness Book of Records was excited to be there. So take a look. We had many thousands of people participated. It was really one of the highlights of the year. Let's roll video number 2.
We were never really taught, why we keep Shabbos, the beauty of Shabbos, the beauty of being Jewish. But when these people came to my house, it really hit me. They really appreciate Judaism. It was new to them, and they, wow, this is great. And I said, yeah, it is great. And I looked at myself and I said, we got to appreciate what we have here.
We didn't really know what to expect. All we heard was that it would be a huge event, so we wanted to participate.
When I walked out of there, I just wanted to be part of it.
I've kept in touch with the woman that came to the house. And she said, I'm not becoming religious, she says, but I used to think it was them and us. And now I see we're all together.
It was an experience that you can't say it in words unless you were there. When you see 2,000 women dancing and holding hands, I still get the chills when I think about it.
When I first walked into the room, I was absolutely stunned.
It was positively overwhelming.
People who I never met before, from sitting from my left or right, we felt like we know each other for years.
Everyone was talking about how even if they had made challah their whole lives, no challah ever tasted as good as that challah because it had so much love in it and so much unity.
We're one nation. I think that at the challah bake, that was very clear. It was so intense, there wasn't a dry eye.
It was really, really beautiful to see the diversity of women coming together, unified, being a part of such a beautiful mitzvah as challah.
The unity in the room was so much more important than the challah itself.
Not only are we here tonight for the great big challah bake, but we're here for a Guinness World Records title attempt at the world's longest braided loaf of bread.
The women were cheering like crazy when they saw this huge challah.
A community uniting under one cause. So this is a fitting record attempt for the great big challah bake with a final measurement of exactly 20 feet. I am thrilled to announce that Project Inspire has set a brand new Guinness World Records title. You are all officially amazing.
I felt like it was an opportunity to share something that we have so beautiful with our brothers and sisters that never had the opportunity to experience this. My mindset going in was, let's just have a good time. Nothing could really go wrong with Shabbos. Shabbos in itself is beautiful.
Over the last number of years, I made a lot of different friends in the political world. Of all the people that I've grown closer to was a city council member by the name of Mark Levine. The idea dawned on me, hey, why not invite Mark for Shabbos?
Well, I'll tell you, I was worried that it would be a very long and potentially even boring 25 hours. I have to say it turned out to be anything but. It flew by in a heartbeat. We had hours and hours of thought-provoking conversation around the Shabbos table.
An experience that I know me and my family will never forget.
I can't help but feel that the Almighty Himself looks down, and the more that we do this, He says, you, my children, are caring about each other in such beautiful ways. You're sharing the beauty of my Torah with each other. You started the job. I'll finish it.
The challah looks good. I think we should invite Guinness to our house. My wife's challahs are amazing. So for taste, you know, amazing. So thank you all. And don't forget, next year, Shabbat Project, be involved. Very, very, very important. And now it is my distinct privilege and great privilege to introduce to you once again our fearless leader, as I say, Rav Chaim Samson, for a very special presentation.
I was going to say good Shabbos, because the Shabbos was so special. It feels like we're still in Shabbos. And I heard many times from my Rebbe, the Rosh Yeshiva of Noach Weinberg Zatzal, that he would tell the story of Rav Chatzkel Sana, the Rosh Yeshiva of Hebron. He was addressing a gathering at a bris of Rav Moshe Chevroni's grandson. It's a well-known story. And all the Gedolei Yisrael were there. And they themselves were the grandchildren of the previous door, of the Chavetz Chaim, of the Slonim Rebbe, the Alter of Nevadok, the Alter of Slobodka, the Vishnisa Rebbe, the Gera Rebbe. And he got up and he said, all of you think that your grandfather was the greatest person in their generation, had the greatest effect on Am Yisrael over the last 100 years. And I'm here to tell you, you're all wrong. And they said, maybe sit down. Don't cause problems. You're going to cause arguments. Sit down. We're having a good time here. He said, no. Not only was it none of your grandfathers, but this person didn't even learn a black Gemara. They say, you're crazy. Rabbi Sana, get down. And he said, not only that, but when I tell you who it is, you're all going to agree with me. And now they really thought he was crazy. The Litvish and the Hasidim all going to agree on who was the greatest person. And when he told them, they all agreed. And who was it? As you probably know, it was Sarah Schenirer. A lady, never learned a black Gemara. What was it about Sarah Schenirer that all the Gedolei Yisrael recognized that this lady was greater, had a greater impact on the last 100 years? She was the mother of the Beis Yaakov system. What was it about her that caused her to be that? And the answer is that, and as Rav Noach says, because she cried about the young ladies who weren't educated and were going off track. And she cried and she cared. And because she cried, she became the mother, so to speak, of the Jewish people. We've been through a Shabbos. What a beautiful Shabbos. Barov Am, the Avos Hashem, the Avos HaTorah, the Avos Yisrael. You could almost touch it. And I thank you all for playing your individual roles in making the Shabbos so beautiful. Thank you so much. But we said at the beginning, if you remember, that we're going to start with the end in mind. We have the Torah. We shared the beautiful Torah this Shabbos. We have a Kodesh Baruch Hu. We connected to a Kodesh Baruch Hu through our tefillahs and through the Shabbos itself. But where is Am Yisrael? 90% of our brothers and sisters, where are they? And we said we're going to start with the end in mind. That we're going to inspire ourselves to inspire others. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We are coming to an end. And we have to care. And we have to learn from Sarah Schenirer that how do we make that difference? That we have to be prepared to cry. Over the Shabbos, we heard some incredible stories. And Mrs. Feldman, who's in the audience, who didn't know where this person that she'd met lived, but she wanted to connect to her and introduce her to Torah, and she starts pressing the buzzers on the apartment building, because hopefully she'll find her, and she found her, and now every day she speaks to her and has her for Shabbos. We heard in the ladies to women to women session of Mississippi Berger, who wanted to bring someone to the Aish convention. And she came over to me at the Aish convention and said, Rabbi, I had no one to bring, but I davened to the Rabbonu Shlolem, and he gave me someone last week, a partner in Torah, who lives in Stamford, Connecticut, and she agreed to come. I met Erev Shabbos and Mrs. Engel, who reminded me that she'd come to the first Shabbos, the first of the Shabbos that we ever did. And she told me that she's from a group of Hasidic ladies from Motzei, Satmar Hasidim. I said, why did you come? She said, Project Inspire. I said, well, why would you come to Project Inspire? She says, Kirov? Looked at me like I was crazy. Why not? B'chastei Hashem, in the audience, there's such special people. Paul Bainish, who I mentioned in the women to women session, I meant to see 2 weeks ago. She should have a refuah shlema. Kanan her, she's 99 years old. I had the great schus of Seagull 2 weeks ago. And she told me, tell people that they are amazing. And I want to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you are amazing. What's going on in this room, what's happening, all of the care, all of the love, all of the different ways that you're reaching out, all the different women that are doing challah bakes and bringing people, taking them to Israel, and the traveling Hasidim and the Shabbos queens. It's amazing. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot more to do. We have a lot more to do. And we have to care, and we have to cry. And Be'ezras Hashem, all of us should think of at least one person that this year we're going to try to reach out to share the beauty of Judaism. Please, raise your hands. Make a commitment now. You're going to think of one person, not just that you know, but that you're going to reach out to, who you're going to care about, and share the beauty. Let's see a show of hands of people that are going to make that commitment. We need a commitment. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So I'd like to just take this opportunity of focusing on one couple who cares. And that we as an organization have benefited from their care in so many ways. And we want to take this opportunity just to show them a little appreciation. And I'd like to take this opportunity for personal thanks, and thanks to Project Inspire, to Stuart and Andrea Heitman for all that they've done. Their care, your care, and commitment knows no bounds. Not only what you've done for Project Inspire, for Aisha Torah, for Yisrael, your care on an individual basis, the sensitivity, the humility is profound. I feel personally blessed that you've come into my life to be my friend and to be my partner in Project Inspire, our founding partners. At Project Inspire, our staff and our advisory board collected a little bit together to buy a little gift for you as a token of our appreciation. So if you'd like to come up for this little gift. And it says, it's a kosher Eliyahu. It says, Hinei anochi shelech lachem es Eliyahu navi v'heishiv leiv avos al bonim v'leiv bonim al avosam. With great gratitude and affection to our dearest friends and founding partners, Stuart and Andrea Heitman, for their extraordinary care and commitment to awakening the Jewish people to bring back all their brothers and sisters to Avinu B'Shamayim. May we merit to see the day when Eliyahu Hanavi will proclaim the final Geula, and our people will be united together as one in Yerushalayim Habinuya, with love from your friends at Project Inspire. Just a little something. A little something. And here's a little personal. It's a letter that goes with it. Thank you. Okay. It's now my great honor to introduce the Rosh Yeshiva. An organization, Project Inspire, cannot be successful without the constant guidance of the Gedolei Yisrael. From the beginning of Project Inspire, we went to the Rosh Yeshiva and we sought his guidance and we told him what we're doing. And on a personal level, he has been so open to seeing us, always so thrilled about what we're doing. I remember in the first meeting that I went to see the Rosh Yeshiva and I asked him, does the Rosh Yeshiva think this is a good idea? Aisha Torah in general, we're dealing with a less affiliate. We're now going into dealing with the Frum community, and it's a new thing. Is the Rosh Yeshiva behind it? And he told me, not only am I behind it, but there isn't anyone who wouldn't be. And that gave me a personal feeling of strength to move forward. So I thank the Rosh Yeshiva for that. So without any further ado, I'd like to call on the Rosh Yeshiva, Rav Kamenetsky.
Motzei Shabbos, as the Shabbos leaves us. And we came here tonight, and I'm well aware what Inspire does and how they inspire us. I'm in a yeshiva and Abachim know that a stranger comes into the yeshiva, you have to go over give a Shalom Aleichem and ask him if you can help him. That's a beginning to work for Inspire. It is inspiring because many times people come in, strangers, in all senses of strangers, and someone comes over to them. If someone is willing to help him, people that need help, and there are so many people that would appreciate, how can I help you? Generally, we think about ourselves, who can help me? But we have to think what we can do for others. Today, we lay in Pashas Kisisa. In the beginning, it speaks about counting the Kol Yisrael. And we'll say it later again in Pashas Shkolim, that we learn from the Pasha that Klal Yisrael, a person is not by himself. They have to give a Motzei Shekel. And the Al-Sheikh explains why a Motzei Shekel. To say it's not complete yet. You need somebody else to complete it. It should be a shekel. In other words, when I introduce myself, I have to know that I can help somebody. When I help somebody, then we are together. Then we have already a team. There's so much to do in the world. And inspiring is inspiring us very much. To find out that many individuals were just connected with just a few words. They were just came with nothing. And they became close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There are many Gedolei Yisrael that they inspired people to do for others. And they found out that just a few words, just a little bit what you do, you're opening up a new gate for Atzlacha, a gate for people that are looking for something, and you open the door for them. Can you imagine what you do for a person when you open a door for him? That he can come in Klal Yisrael, he can come to Torah mitzvahs. It's beyond imagination. And many people who are inspired, and later they realize, where was I till now? Just where was I till now? And there are many, many stories. You probably heard from the rabbis many instances that people became a Kuruv LaKadosh Baruch Hu just by saying hello. And we are able to do that because people are actually, they need it. They need someone should be closer to them. They need, there's so many needs that people have. If you would find out how much you can do, then you would probably run a whole day to do for doing mitzvahs, doing kiruv. That's inspiring. Inspiring that are yechidim, that are zeicha just for the beginning with 3 words. Can I help you? Can I help you? That's 3 words. And you bring so many people close to the Rabbeinu Shalom, close to yourself. In yeshiva, I'm a Philadelphian. I can tell you many instances that someone came into the yeshiva and a young man, he was still in college, from non-affirm home, unfortunately, when his grandmother died, and he was fighting against burning, and he was not successful. He tried very hard. That's the background. He came to the yeshiva, and one of the rabbis was mekarev him. He was a young man going to school, and he founded a business for himself to rent for the college students. rent apartments. Like he became an agent, and that was his business, and he made money from it. Recently, he was informed by the college that they don't want him anymore in that area, in this life. But the person became a Ben Torah. He came to Shurim to listen to Shurim. Just someone opened the door for him. One of our Rabbeim opened the door for him. With a child he came. Baruch Hashem, they have 2 children now. He lives somewhere else. He put on mezuzahs in his home. Both he and his wife became emes b'nei Torah. He likes to come to learn every hour he has. And it's remarkable. Just began with just a few words. Because people are in great need. And you can't imagine how much you give him just by a few words. Just get close to him. People look for friendship because the need is so great that it's immeasurable. But you do so much, but just by opening up your heart, opening up a few words. And there are stories told that many people were scholar from nothing. He just a fellow in Yerushalayim, fellow with the pack on his back, and he asked him, he stopped him. He says, "What do you do?" He says, "I'm traveling." Where is he traveling? He doesn't know where he's traveling. He just wanted to see the world, traveled around a little bit. He took him over. He became an emes ben Torah, just emes ben Torah. And he married him off. You see that what we can do for individuals depends on us, no one else. And inspiring is so inspiring that I always feel that they do such a wonderful job. But each one of us, what we can do is much, much more. Because every person, a neighbor, just a neighbor, a nephew of mine, moved into an area, and the neighbor was cutting his grass every Shabbos. That's the time he had. So he came to Rabbi Freifeld, and he asked him what he should do. What can he do? He said, "Don't say anything. Just say good Shabbos to him, that's all. And be a good friend of his." In 2 years, he was a Shema Torah mitzvahs in the full extent. Just by, we see that there is such a great need in the world that when we open up a little bit, we can attract people from all sorts. And it is really up to us. That's why I'm inspired from Inspire. And my bracha is, whatever you do for Klal Yisrael, it's inspiring for all of us. The Rabbeinu Shalom is very happy with your accomplishments.
Thank you, Rosh Yeshiva. It was a tremendous tircha, by the way. Tremendous tircha for the Yeshiva to come. We appreciate it so much. Rosh Yeshiva was away for Shabbos and made the trip up here, especially. What a chizuk it is for us. Rosh Yeshiva should be gesund to be able to be mechazik everyone else. Besindert und zwanzig and weiter. Amen. Okay. This is probably a good time, since we just mentioned to Stuart Heitman. There are a couple of people in the audience we want to say hello to. I see in the front here our Director General, Rabbi Steve Berg from Esha Torah. Please stand up, Steve. Say hello to the people. Doing a phenomenal job for Esha Torah, putting it all together with the able assistance, by the way, of Louis Mayberg, who's sitting right next to him, right? And where's Rabbi Yitz Greenman, who I saw over there? Where's he? The Executive Director in Eshu Shalayim? He's somewhere in the back. He's probably raising money or something. We have a lot of opportunities during the year to do things. A lot of things. And a few years ago, we took on a huge, huge task. And that is called the Tisha B'Av film. How many of you have seen our Tisha B'Av films in the past? Upwards of 100,000 people watch our Tisha B'Av films every year. They are immensely impactful. And this year was no different. But we have to come up with ideas every year. ideas, new ideas for the Tisha B'Av film. And there we were, racking our brains, how are we going to bring the message to people? And I was talking with Yossi Friedman, and Yossi Friedman had the schus, had the privilege of getting a brainstorm. And he said to me, he says, I got it. I said, what? He said, the Zika, no, I didn't say no. He said, I got it. I said, what is it? He said, well, here's what we're going to do. We have a great story. We have a great story about a fellow who walked into shul one day, and somebody came over to him, and he asked him to put on tefillin, and before you know it, he became frum. It's a wonderful story. What would happen, he said, if we placed a non-frum person in a shul, in a famous shul, and let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if people actually approach him or not, because that will bring the message home. Well, boy, did it ever. So we embarked on, we called up our good friend. We should also have a tremendous Hakaras Hatov. He's here tonight, Guy Orman, who puts our films together. He's unbelievable. He's got a tremendous editor by the name of Michael Apfel, who's here tonight. And a lot of other people. They've worked with us for years, and they said, how are we going to do this? So I went to a shul in Flatbush, and I'll tell you what shul it was. Everybody knows anyway. It's Rabbi Landau's shul, which is an amazing place. And I went to the Rav, and I said to him, get this. I said to him, we want to put hidden cameras in your shul. He said, I already have 22 of them. That's what he told me. You never know. Oh, I'm davening there for 25 years. I never saw a camera there, but he does. He took me up to the room upstairs, which is the control room, and he showed me they truly have 22 cameras in the shul. Anyway, we decided to bring in additional cameras, 4 more additional hidden cameras that we could use, one in the Ezras Nashim shooting down, one in a bag of like a, which you wouldn't be able to tell, like a little duffel bag, one in a cup, a coffee cup, sitting on the table, ready, and the 4th one, no one will guess this one, was actually in the fellow's glasses. In his glasses was also a hidden camera. And we said, let's see what happens if we put him in a synagogue. Let's put him in shul and see if anybody says hello. And we had the greatest Tisha B'Av film we've ever had, the most impact that we have ever had. I've had people telling me almost every day that after that film, they began to reach out. What an amazing experience. So let's relive in very short form. We're going to roll. We'll call this video number 3. Thank you. Video number 3.
Felix Gruman was born in Kishinev, Moldova. His mother, tragically, died in an accident when he was very young, and he was basically raised by his grandparents in Jackson Heights, Queens.
So you went to public school,
Yes.
high school?
Yes.
What
Working.
was your connection to Judaism then?
None.
There was no Jewish observance in your life at all?
No. We went to shul, but when, services were over, it's back to television at home.
So it's a couple of years ago, and you're begin to search in shuls. You've been to go to various different shuls,
Yes.
looking for anything, something that will spark you. And what happens when you go into
I knew I needed to speak to somebody. I needed somebody to hear me out. That was very difficult, apparently. I felt like, of all the places to seek sanctity and salvation, a shul would have been the place to go do that.
I think we need to stop right here. There I am, sitting with Chaim. He's telling me he's walking into one shul after the other. He's searching. And it gets me thinking, what would I do? What would any of us do? Meet Abe. We asked Abe if he would go into a shul in a heavy populated frum area in order to answer my question, what would happen? With constant minyanim around the clock, we wondered as Abe stands alone. Does anybody care? Will anyone approach him? Does anyone even notice that he's there? Will anyone even remember that Abe was standing right next to them? Let's listen. Do you recognize this fellow?
Yes.
You
He's
do
actually
recognize
sitting right in front of me.
Did you have any thought about maybe you wanted to approach him or not? Or?
I was thinking about it. It looked like a person that perhaps I should have approached.
What does he look like to you?
I can't figure it out. I did not see his face, but he looks like a person that's looking.
Looking. What is wrong? Why don't we go up there and say hi?
That's a very good question.
From minion to minion to minion. Nothing really changed. I wonder what Abe was thinking. I wonder what Abe was feeling. I wonder what Felix was feeling when this was happening to him.
I almost wasn't surprised. I wasn't shocked. I almost expected what I had the first few tries. But I was persistent.
So one Sunday morning, regular Sunday morning, I was davening, and in walks in this very young man. He just sat down in the chair and took out a art scroll sitter and just started reading and looking at it. And I kept on saying to myself, should I approach him? Should I approach him? So I walked over to him, and the first thing I said to him was, hi, you want to put on a pair of tefillin?
Just like that?
Just like that. It was the first thing that came out of my mouth.
Hi. You were
I was a little nervous. A little nervous, yeah. A little nervous.
A guy named David, he introduces himself and he said, hey, would you like to wear my tefillin? That went beyond what I would have even hoped for. He put his tefillin on me. That was amazing.
I said, okay. So we started putting on the tefillin. He said the bracha with me of putting on the tefillin. He repeated each word. And you can tell he was emotional. He was definitely emotional about it.
From that point on, I knew that, wow, this is a guy I could communicate with. He showed me another side of Judaism that I would have only, wished to have heard, but finally I got to see it for myself.
We had like this weekly field trip. There was a Judaica store in Queens. We'd buy a pair of tzitzits, or he would want to buy a Tanakh, or he would want to buy a Chumash, and you can see he was thirsty to want to learn more.
When he got me a pair of tefillin, that was an investment that somebody made on me. I felt like he barely knew me to, make that kind of commitment, but he did. I couldn't believe it. You never know. Yeah, you really never know who's waiting for you to approach them. And so it's only taking one step forward, and Hashem does the rest. You never know who that quiet person, that new person in shul may be, and what they're hoping to have when they come to shul. But it starts with that first hello.
It was intense. It's one of the best things I ever did.
Yossi, fabulous concept. And look what happened. I mean, it can't be any more clear. We brought out the point by putting Abe in the shul, and he was pretty alone, pretty much. But look what happened when two people were in a shul, one needed the other, and the other one came through. And as I understand, if it's so, that our two stars of the film, Chaim and David, are here tonight in the audience. Are they here? Yes? Give me a wave. Chaim? There's David. There they are. Right there. Amazing. 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 Autographs later, by the way. You can Google their names if you like. Yep. But the truth is, Yossi, if I can step out for a second, Yossi, when you put Abe in that shul, remember, that was just a wild day. It was. I can't tell you what was going on. Putting him in every minyan, waiting, seeing what was going to happen. But the truth is, and these people should know this, is that he was not totally left alone. Yossi, you remember that?
Well, not exactly, yeah.
Not exactly.
It's fine. Let's move on.
Okay. He wasn't. Some people, shall we say, some people didn't notice him. Some people noticed him. Yossi, show the people who noticed him.
Let's just move on.
No. Show it. I'm serious. Show. Do you want to see who noticed him? Yeah. Of course there was. Show. Here they go. Some people noticed him. Oh, yeah. Some people noticed him. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Every few minutes, every 5 minutes. This was his introduction to Landau's Beis Medrash. Welcome to Judaism 101. Yeah. Yossi, wait a second, folks. Do you remember what happened? We got something in the mail
we
right
did,
after
yes.
this. Show the people we got in the mail.
Shortly afterwards,
from
we
Abe.
got a bill.
This came from Abe in the mail to us. A bill.
An invoice.
An invoice. Look at this. An invoice. Every 5 minutes, folks. Right? Remember? Oh, and then we had the Aliyah, right? He was a kohen. Nobody knew. Look at that. $36. Tzvai Mulchai. Thank you. He had a few coffees that day. Look at that. $20. What else did he have? Oh, yeah, parking ticket, of course. Hey, it's Brooklyn. $125. Yeah. We'll try to take care of that. Oh, this is a good one. The skull cap expense. Midwood Funeral Home, $2. Anybody want to sponsor that? Oh, yeah, the Trump for President campaign, $500. It was an appeal in the shul. And finally, yes, a few therapy sessions for Abe with a who? Dr. Yaakov Solomon, yes. Yeah, they'll discount. Thank you, everybody. Okay. That was our amazing experience. Yossi, it worked. Yossi? Oh, you left, right. Okay. A couple of things to remind you about coming up this year. 2 trips, very important. We bring people to Israel, we bring people to Poland. We take trips and we bring both secular and non-secular. We bring frum and the not yet frum together. And there's a chance, an opportunity for you to join us to go to Eretz Yisrael on an Israel Recharge mission, which is coming up in June. If you want to come, we need about 25 people or so. In May. We need about 25 people or so to join us and join a nice group of people who have already been to Eretz Yisrael. It is a profound experience. You go there for about, is it 8 days or so, Chaim? It's about 8 days or so, and the people come back absolutely transformed. And the truth is that if you come along, you'll be transformed too. You've never seen Eretz Yisrael like this. If you have an opportunity, you think about it, maybe you're interested in doing it, fabulous idea. I'm going to tell you how to volunteer shortly. And here's a second one, the trip to Poland that we take. We do this pretty often. This is at the end of May for this year. Leaves on a Sunday, come back on a Thursday. Again, going to Poland, as I have gone a couple of times, it will actually really change your life in many, many, many ways. So if you have an opportunity to join us, again, looking for another 25 people, men and women, for the Poland trip. If you want to do it, you can email right now to info@projectinspire.com. Info. I don't care if you take out your phone right now, if you still have it, if you didn't leave it home. If you take it from info@projectinspire.com and just say you're interested in one of those 2 trips. Got it? Got it? Okay. Okay, listen to this. We all know that Hashem is with us. We can do anything. And Reb Noach Weinberg taught us that the main thing is, do we want it enough? If you really want to do it, you know, it's in the bag, as he used to say. It's in the bag. If you really want it, it's done. The problem is, of course, we don't want it enough. Let's remember what our Rosh Yeshiva said, and reminding us so many times in a very special way, just for 60 seconds, about what it means to really want something. Video number 4.
When you pray to God, what do you say to God?
I say, Almighty, I know that you care about this much more than me. I know that you want me to succeed. I know that if you help me, we can change the whole world. I know you want to help me. I know I just have to want it enough. Please help me to want it, to feel this pain the way you feel it, so that you can help me do it. That's what you've got to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take the chance of telling you that you are about to be astounded. I'm not worried about that. I think it's so. You have to want it enough. We found somebody who wants it enough. And I met this young man a couple of months ago. He's a young man from California. And I saw his presentation, and we said, this young man can teach us of what it means to really want something. I'm going to be very careful with this introduction because I don't want to give too much away. But we found out what it really means to want. And I will tell you this, if he's not the most exciting presentation you've ever seen, it certainly will be the youngest. Roll the film, number 5. Yes?
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Dylan and I'm 6 years old. I wrote a book named Chocolate Bar to raise money for my friends Jonah's charity. It's about what's awesome to me. I like to go to the beach. That is so chocolate bar.
Dylan is Jonah's best friend. He decided a couple months ago that he wanted to write a book to help raise $1 million for finding a cure for my son's rare liver condition, glycogen storage disease type 1B.
I felt good when my friend was trying to help me so I could get better and feel like other people. It was so chocolate bar.
After Dylan finished the pages, he handed them to us and said, will you go make copies? But he was really persistent and really passionate. We knew that we had to take action.
Dylan has touched us so much. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Thank you for helping us find a cure for him, because we're going to do it with all of your help. Thank you so much.
It's been an amazing, amazing journey for us as parents to see another parent's child do this. We got a little choked up with emotion.
I like to help my friends. That is the biggest chocolate ball.
We were really, really thrilled to get behind this project because we knew it would send a message out to other children that they had power. It doesn't matter if you're 6 years old or 30 or 100. If you have a big idea and a big heart and you want to make something happen, you can do it.
Hello everyone, how was your Shabbos? I just want to thank you for inviting me here. Hello, everyone. I'm Dylan Seagull, and I'm 9 years old, and that's my friend Jonah. Jonah was born with a really rare disease called glycogen storage disease type 1B. It is so rare, he is literally 1 in a million. When I was 6 years old, I wanted to help raise money to find a cure for his disease. My mom and dad suggested a lemonade stand or a bake sale, but I wanted to do something else. I wanted to write a book because I knew I could sell it for more than lemonade or cookies. I decided to write about things that are awesome to me, like bowling, arcades, and the beach, and I called it chocolate bar because that's my made-up word for awesome. After all, what could be more awesome than helping my friend Jonah? Once I finished the pages, I gave them to my mom and dad. I had to bug them every day until finally they turned them into a book. They said I was really persistent, which I think is a nice way of saying I was annoying. We decided to sell my book at a school event. After a few hours, we had raised thousands of dollars. It was really fun, but I wanted to do more. I told my parents and everyone everywhere that I was going to raise $1 million, because Jonah's 1 in a million. They all thought I was crazy. My mom said, "Do you even know how much $1 million is?" And I responded, "Yeah, of course, it's half a Bugatti." Next, we did a reading at a bookstore. The news heard all about our story and put us on TV. It was really cool. Book orders started coming in from all over the world. Everyone pitched in to help. My family, Jonah's family, friends, teachers. Pretty soon, we'd raised $100,000, then $200,000, and then after a year of hard work, we raised $500,000. No one thought I was crazy anymore. Kids started sending me letters saying how much I inspired them, which made me even more determined to reach my goal. After 2 years of hard work, my dream came true. So far, we have sold almost 30,000 copies of our book in all 50 states and over 60 countries around the world. And we have raised, drumroll please, almost $1.2 million. I even wrote my book in Portuguese. Now that I've reached my goal, I want to share my story with kids everywhere and show them that they could help make a difference too. Would you like me to read my book to you now? In English, of course. I can't hear you. Just remember, I wrote it when I was 6 years old. Chocolate Bar by Dylan Seagull. Chocolate Bar by Dylan Seagull, illustrated by Dylan Seagull. I like to go to Disneyland. That is so chocolate bar. I like to go to Universal Studios. That is so chocolate bar. I like to go to the beach. That is so chocolate bar. I like to go swimming. That is so chocolate bar. I like to go to the aquarium. That is so chocolate bar. I like to go to the bowling alley. That is so chocolate bar. I like to go to the arcade. That is so chocolate bar. I like to help my friends. That is the biggest chocolate bar. This book is dedicated to my friend Jonah. All money made will be donated to the Jonah Ponazarian GSD Fund. Thank you for your help. Does anyone have any questions?
I have some questions. What do you say to Dylan Seagull? Unbelievable. The first thing I want to ask you is a little bit of advice, if you don't mind. You see, you raised $1.2 million, is that right? Yes. So far, right. See, yeah, you wrote one book, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I've written 4 books. I owe about $60,000. I'm just wondering where you could help.
You have to write a cute book when you're 6 years old.
Here's his dad, everybody.
Big round of applause.
Good evening, everybody.
Tell us how proud you are of Dylan.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we're in shock every time we think about it, and in front of so many people like tonight, it just brings us to tears. Speaking of crying, I mean, this is a crying moment now. And by the way, I have to say it, wow. Right? I mean, this has been inspirational beyond belief.
What did you think about? What did you think when he first came up with the idea? I mean, I'm sure you've been asked that.
We said, that's nice, now go to bed. You know, like every kid, they say crazy things all the time, and every once in a while they follow through with it, and when they do, it's magic.
Right. How much money did you think he was going to raise originally?
About $100.
And now he raised 1.2, and tell us how Jonah's doing.
Well, Jonah is doing well right now, but just recently he got an infection and ended up in the hospital, but now he's doing better. But like if he gets a tiny infection that we wouldn't even notice, he could end up in the hospital.
I think you gave us the name for us to daven for him, right? What is the name? You remember the name?
Well, his name's Jonah Ben Dina.
Ben Dina. Jonah?
Yonah
Ben Dina. Refuah Shlema. B'Sarch Shar Chayil Yisrael. Folks, look what you can do. Ein davar omei b'fnei haratzon. There's a saying that says there's nothing you can't do when you have enough will, right? So, I mean, what better example? What does it mean to Dylan? What does it mean for you to be Jewish? What does that say to you?
Being Jewish means celebrating Shabbat with your family and being kind to your friends. And it also means like learning values and using them really well.
Wow. Dylan Seagull, everybody. And Dad, amazing. And by the way, his mom is right here. His mom is here also. Fantastic. If you want to support this book will be available outside after the program is finished, right? And even autographed copies, right? But we still have to talk about my debt. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to go to chocolatebarbook.com and donate, and go outside and buy books. We only have 300 copies, so buy one before we're sold out.
The kid, he's putting me out of business. I'm telling you. Wow. Was that amazing or what? By the way, if we have a good photographer here, we need to get a shot. The Rosh Yeshiva is reading the chocolate bar book. What should I tell you? Mashiach Zeiten. Mashiach Zeiten. Unbelievable. Fantastic. And he was 6. He was 6 when he wrote that. Wow. By the way, Baruch Hashem, we married off all our kids. Dylan, if you want to join my family, you don't want to stay in California, right? You want to come to Brooklyn? Sure. Okay, wonderful. Oh, what tremendous chizuk. Speaking of chizuk, let's show video number 6, because this is an interesting little thing that we put together, because so many times we reach out and we don't know what happens. And everybody knows that whatever happens, happens. And as long as we put in our ishtadlus, it's excellent. That's what we want to do. However, we always like to see what happens to some of the people. So there are some people on this film that you actually know if you've been here before, and some people that you don't, but we often are able to do enough with some of these fellows, and we send them off to yeshiva, very often to Eish Torah, of course. So let's roll video number 6 of the great Yeshiva Guys film.
As far as my background in Judaism, secular, reformed, whatever you want to call it.
Had a bar mitzvah, and basically, did all the normal things that a secular Jew growing up in the Midwest would do.
I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area in California. Growing up, I was generally uncomfortable with, the practice of Judaism just due to my lack of knowledge.
I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and my family grew up in Flatbush.
At the first Project Inspire convention that I went to was a Shabbaton called the Body and Soul Retreat. One of the people I met there was a guy from Borough Park named Yiddy Klein.
I sat next to this young man, told him Good Shabbos, and that's the first time I laid my eyes on Roger Goldberg.
He asked me if I had put tefillin on that day, which I hadn't. I hadn't started putting on tefillin yet. So we went and put on tefillin and then chatted for a little bit afterward. As a result of that action, I started putting tefillin on.
Rabbi Aryeh Cohen gives me a call. He says, "Come for Shabbos sometime. Here's my number." And I had such an amazing time at the meal. It was the family setting, the family gathering, the Zmiros and the Divrei Torah and the meal. I saw something that was above anything I've ever seen before.
They came here for a Shabbos meal, and he was very interested and participated.
Being there with my mom and being there with the Beguns, who made it so easy and so comfortable, and they're obviously religious, but I'm obviously not, but yet that divide doesn't matter. Because of that atmosphere that they've created, they've helped both my mother and I become more religious.
After really getting to know Adam and Jerry at the Body and Soul retreat, Tova and I realized that the next step for Adam would be to go to Eretz Yisrael in some sort of learning, working situation.
He said he's going to go, it was summertime, he wants to go for a 6-week program to a yeshiva in Israel to check it out, to see if he's really ready to take the next step.
We looked into the best programs for him that could combine the working and learning that he was looking for.
Israel did bring this sense of home, this comfortability, this sense I can be myself, what it means to be Jewish.
Everyone told me there's no place like learning in Israel. In Eretz Yisrael, the learning is the best. At Eish Torah, they have a program called Essentials. It's a 3-week program, very beginning education, about Jewish studies. For a year and a half, I'm learning at Eish Torah.
Coming to Eretz Yisrael to learn yeshiva full time, to be around such amazing people, other Jewish people, I really see a big difference in my life, and I'm much happier. I feel like I'm doing something important that matters, and that's going to better me, my family, the Jewish people.
If you would have asked me 2 years ago, do I ever see myself studying in a yeshiva, I would have thought that you were absolutely crazy. But now that I'm here, I realize that this is an environment that is geared towards personal growth.
Immediately when he got there, he felt that this is his place. He decided that he just doesn't want to be there for just a few weeks. He wants to make this his permanent home.
Different gestures that people are helping me, organizing tefillin for me, chavrusas for me, going to Shabbos. It changed my whole life. I saw there's people that I have on my team. There's people that care for me. And I'm in yeshiva, and now I'm learning Torah. It affected my whole life forever.
I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the help of other Jewish people who decided to take the care to see how I'm doing, to see if I wanted to grow in Judaism. They were there to help me. They were there to show me the opportunities that I didn't even know I had.
There are so many Jewish souls that are out there that don't know much about religion or Yiddishkeit, and it's up to us as the Frum community to step up to the plate and show them what the Torah represents, show them what the Torah is.
What do we have in common?
We grew up secular.
We were embraced by the Orthodox community.
We never expected to be religious.
We certainly never dreamt of learning in a yeshiva.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good. You know who I am?
I saw you on stage, so I assume you're an important guy.
Yeah, I'm very important. Did you ever Google me?
Not really, no.
Very important. Yeah.
I will. When I get back to my room.
Have we ever met before?
We have not. No.
My name is Yaakov Solomon, but I'm going to be a psychic, and I'm going to predict your name. I think it's Fernando.
Yeah, you guessed right.
How did I know that?
I have no idea.
I did a lot of research about you. How does that feel?
It feels a little weird, but okay, I guess.
People get arrested for things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so my mind tells me that you live in Tijuana.
Yeah, I do.
Do you learn in a school in San Diego?
Yeah.
How come you never invited me to speak over there?
I am now. Please come. We need speakers.
I love San Diego. It's really wonderful. Yes. Want my number? Anyway, so I heard about you, and I know that some people from Project Inspire came out to San Diego a couple of months ago, right? You remember that?
Yeah.
So you're studying there now. It's a kind of must be a big trip from Tijuana, but
yeah, it's I commute. I take kind of like the subway in San Diego. I cross the border and then I commute, but it's worth it, definitely.
Beautiful. I spoke to even Rabbi Adato. Is that right?
Yeah, he's a Rosh Yeshiva.
Yeah, he's a Rosh Yeshiva. A nice man. He likes you very much.
Yeah, I hope so at least.
Anyway, so we heard that you're kind of interested in furthering your studies and your Jewish studies. Is that true?
Definitely, yeah.
I want you to turn your attention to the stage now and see if you know anybody standing on there. You know anybody standing at the stage there? Right up there? Right. Who's that?
Ruvain and the rabbi.
Yeah, okay, but you know Ruvain? Who's that? Ruvain who?
Ruvain Handelsman.
Handelsman. Let's go up and talk to Ruvain, okay? Yeah. Okay. Folks, we're going up to talk to Ruvain. Before we end the program tonight, this is very exciting. Isn't it exciting? Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen. Okay. So come over here. Let's see. Okay, Ruvain, step up here. Ruvain. So Ruvain here, who knows you because he met you in San Diego.
Yeah, we met when they came to speak at school.
Right. And Ruvain here heard about everything that you're doing, right? So Ruvain has something really interesting to tell you. Okay? Yeah. There's also a letter that I'm going to have him read. Okay? And Ruvain, it's all yours.
Okay, so about 10 years ago, I was searching myself to find, I had questions I wanted answers to, and I was searching for a deeper meaning in life. And I didn't have the, I didn't have the funds to get to Israel and to find a school and to find those answers. And someone said that he found someone to help me out to fund my trip to Israel and to find answers. And I never found out who it was. And about 5 years ago, I found out who it was, and I went over to him. I said, how can I ever repay you? He said, one day it's going to come when you're going to be able to return the favor and help someone else out. And I forgot about it. And then I went to San Diego, and something struck in my mind. And I remember that promise that I made that I'm going to help the next person out to pay it along. And there's a letter I'd just like to read to you. It says, Dear Fernando, there's a lot of excitement here at Yeshiva Seisha Torah Gesher as we begin to plan for next year. Rabbi Green enjoyed meeting with you and feel strongly that you have a lot of potential to succeed in and gain from Gesher. Therefore, we are delighted to inform you that you have been accepted to Yeshiva Torah for the upcoming year between 2016 and 2017. We look forward to welcome you as part of the Gesher family. Please feel free to contact us with any other questions that you might have. Looking forward to a great year together. Rabbi David Rossman, Dean of Yeshiva Torah Gesher program. Now, I didn't write that letter. I've never seen that. But I made a promise 5 years ago that I'm going to help out the next guy. And that trip, not only is an acceptance letter, but you have an all-expense trip to Israel for the entire year, the plane flight, the school, to pass it along.
Beautiful song.
Mazel tov.
A beautiful song written by Shmuel Brazil.
Mazel tov. You're going. You're really going.
Hashem, v'shuvu el Hashem. Ay gerechu imachem nevarim. Ay v'shuvu el Hashem. Ay gerechu imachem nevarim. Ay v'shuvu el Hashem. Ay v'shuvu el Hashem. 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 V'shuvu el Hashem.
Shmuel Brazil and Simcha Leiner, and Dylan Seagull and Fernando. Thank you, everybody. A good tavach, v'shuvu el Hashem.